Well, again, welcome everybody to Road to Go. I mean, we got wealth builders that's chiming in from all over. I mean, this is really exciting times. We got a lot of people that's fired up. Thank God it's Monday, one of my favorite days of the week. I hope everybody is fired up today, coming off an amazing week. I mean, the numbers are in. Oh, my God. I mean, this thing is really heating up. A lot of people is really taking this exercise very, very serious. And guess what? People are getting the results. And we're definitely excited about what's happening. But, I want to go over a topic today, that's really, it's really more necessary now than in the beginning of this entire exercise. Because in the beginning, we were planting a lot of seeds. We were, peaking, showing, and breathing. Now, guess what? We want to become a pro at the follow-up. It's time for us to go pro on the follow-up. And the follow-up is where the money is made, right? It's a fortune in the follow-up. I know you probably heard somebody say that before, but I want you to know today that it is very, very true. And you have to become a professional at it as well. And a lot of people, they tend to get excited, right? You can't hear me? Okay, can you hear me now? Coach Watkins, text me if you can hear me or let me know.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Uh-huh.
Okay, yeah. I hope y'all can hear me because I thought I had said a lot. But right now we want everybody to go professional in the follow-up. I mean, because we've been planting a lot of seeds, we've been piquing a lot of interest, showing a lot of plans, getting a lot of people on the three-way calls. I know a lot of people do the three-way chat. I guess we've been doing a lot of that. So now we want everybody to go pro on the follow-up, right? And what does that mean? That means that's where you earn your fortune at. They say it's a fortune in the follow-up. And it seems like people tend to get excited 1 minute and go missing in action the next. I'm going to say that again. People tend to get excited, right, in 1 minute, and then they go missing in action the next. And that's where we got to stop it at, because a lot of times, a lot of people look at the PSG as that I was supposed to get a business partner, right? And, sometimes you will, sometimes you won't. And most of the time you have to understand that, the psychology of a person doesn't necessarily work like that. And everybody should be operating from a physical calendar. I know you have calendars on your electrical devices. I know you have, just different, but we want you to go out there and get a physical calendar. And then one thing about, you should be setting appointments on the follow-up, and either you early or you late, right? There's no in between. There's no like I was on time. No, you want to be early because it just shows a level of professionalism. And then don't be casual with your time, right? Don't be casual with your time because people tend to respect people who value their own time. Like if you don't value your own time, how can you value anybody else's time? So you don't want to be casual with that as well. But it's definitely a fortune in the follow-up. And, the reason for an exposure is to set up for another exposure. I'm going to say that again because a lot of times people think exposure is all about the closure.
Coach Rollins, we're losing you. We're losing you, Coach Rollins. Coach Rollins, we lost you. You're loud and clear right now. Okay, because you're going in and out, but you're clear right now. So stand wherever you're standing.
Right. Well, I'm trying to find that spot, right? I'm definitely trying to find a spot.
Okay, that's it right there. That's it.
Okay. Golly. Okay. Yeah, so I was just talking about the reason for exposure is to set up another exposure, right? A lot of times people think exposure is to get a closure, and sometimes it works out that way, but not all the time, right? But exposure is to set another exposure. Most people conclude exposures with what do you think, right? People think exposure is to get them to sign up, but nope, it's to get them to another exposure because for the majority of people, they have to see something 4 to 5 times before they're able to make an educated decision, right? So you have to understand, like sometimes it's about building that person's belief from one thing to another. Well, not if you saw that. Well, I got a young lady that's doing some amazing things. She's doing a webinar today, right? I want to invite you to that. And a lot of times what happens, you should already have the next exposure already lined up. If you do a PS3 today with somebody, guess what? You should already know. If they don't get started right away, you should know what's going on this week. For company-wise, you should know what's going on inside of your organization in order to lead them to another exposure, right? And it's also to educate a person, right? on what exactly we offer here so they can make a decision. Because a lot of times people don't get it, and then they say, well, it went kind of fast. I wasn't able to get everything. Some people listen slow, for lack of better words, right? Some people listen slow, so guess what? They have to hear it over and over again in order for it to click. So you got to understand it's also educational. It's an educational piece that's going on as well, that you have to understand that part is taking place. And the method, you should keep going until a decision is made. See, one thing about me that I understand, I'm not going to leave a person alone until they give me a definite no. Okay? But a lot of times, the fact that we don't get yeses, we kind of like throw down on the follow-up. We kind of like take them off our list. We kind of like not treat it as, that could be a potential business partner for me, because it's been people not only that I've been in contact with for months, but it's people that I still have on my list from years. Right? And they don't know, but one day they will be my business partner. You have to really, I'm going down again. I don't know, man. I'm standing at home. I didn't even move out of my spot. It shows on my end that I have all the bars. Let me turn off the Wi-Fi. She does back up. How is that? Is that okay, Ms. Alma? Because I have all bars on my phone. Can you hear me now? Okay.
Perfect.
Well, hopefully you can hear me. Now, and then also, let me just add this part too. When you go in for a follow-up, right, when you call somebody back for a follow-up, you don't want to be on the defense, right? You don't want to be, you don't want to get into arguments with people, right? If you call them to see, had they had a chance to see the material or whatever that you invited them to, just be calm. You don't want to get in, you don't want to be argumentative. You don't want to have that type of energy, because guess what? That's not something that people that's not something that people are attracted to. And guess what? Life gets busy. Like, so many people are busy with other things, and this may be a priority for you, but it may not be a priority for them just yet. So, just always ask permission. One thing I'm all about is asking permission. Well, can I check back with you in a week? Can I check back with you in 30 days? You always want to ask for permission for every step along the way as you're going through your follow-up. And, one thing, too, that I want to add, it's always, instead of asking people what do they think, you always want to lead with what did you like best. It's just like in a three-way call. It's just like when somebody watches a video. It's just like when we expose anything. You always want to use certain words in order to get certain results. So what did you like best, right? And then if you want to take advantage, of 4 to 6 exposures. I mean, because we got a lot of things going on in the company that you want to be able to take advantage of, but you want to take advantage of multiple exposures, use multiple stories, because now a lot of people that's doing different webinar Zooms, right? People that's doing Zooms or any type of presentation or anything that you can invite them to, well, make sure that you attach a story along with it. Make sure that you tell them about some of the amazing things that Coach Brueggemann is doing. Make sure you tell them about amazing things that Coach Watkins is doing, or whoever, some of the leaders that you invite them to, whatever it is that they're using. Make sure that you tell them a little bit about that person. Well, this person was able to overcome this. Well, this person was able to accomplish this. Because remember, fact tells, but story sells. And then, you want people to be able to relate, right? They may be in the medical industry. You might want to refer to Miss Ima. Is this so many different things that we can match up? I mean, you think about somebody like Gregory Scott, who's in law enforcement. You may want to match that. I mean, there's just so many different ways that you want to go to another exposure, and then everything is online right now. So now you have the comfort of just using different platforms to your advantage, right? And a lot of times people hammer on people one hard time and they're done. Like, you hammer on that person one hard time, and then you got them through the system, and then now you put them to the side, and guess what? You could have lost a potential superstar because you wasn't persistent in your pursuit, right? It's all about being persistent in your pursuit. And when you're persistent in your pursuit, then guess what? Now you're going to be able to take care of your harvest. You're going to be able to bring in your harvest, because it's just like if you was a farmer and you went out there and you planted things. You got to tend to your crops. And this is what you're doing. You're tending to your crops, because guess what? You are expecting a harvest to come in. And the goal has to be able to be educating the person to understanding. I'm going to say that again. The goal has to be educating somebody to understanding, because it's a lot of times people have certain concepts or what they think network marketing is all about. They have certain ideas. Like, they had a gentleman that reached out to me today. He said, I checked out your compensation plan. It's a 3x9 team matrix where you can only build 3 teams. Well, you're not educating on my compensation plan, right? Because that lets me know that you don't know what you're talking about, if that's what you think it's all about, even though that's a part of it. But if you think I can only build 3 teams, then you totally totally missing it, right? So you definitely want to educate people to an understanding. Exposures to exposure strengthens the relationship. Also, it strengthens friendship because now people start to look at you different. Well, okay, maybe this person really knows what they're talking about. They know their stuff. They're connected with some successful people, right? Because a lot of times we want people just to look at us, but we got to remove ourselves out of the way and let them look at some other people that we're connected to. And guess what? That strengthens the friendship. That strengthens the relationship, right? And then this is another thing. You want to condense exposures, right? You want to condense your exposures for better results. And don't be afraid to do this here. Like, don't be afraid to get multiple exposures. Don't be afraid to get 3 exposures in a week, right? Because we have that much activity that's going on here in Plan That Marketing. So you want to condense your exposure so you can get better results. And then guess what? Posers prospect once. We're professionals. Posers prospect once. Amateurs several. Professionals condense those exposures in the shortest time possible. You want to operate as a professional, and you want to do as many as you can in the shortest time possible, right? The shortest time that you can do it possible, that's where you're going to get the better results. Understand, life is happening for people. You may lose them if you drag it out. You may lose them if you drag it out because now people's attention spans are short. So you want to accomplish everything you can do in the shortest amount of time as possible because guess what you want to be able to do? Eventually, you want to be able to collect a decision, but you want to be able to collect a decision from a very, very educated and guess what? An understanding, right? So they can really have an idea of what they're not getting involved with or what they're saying no to. Because if you're gonna give me no, I want that person to really have put some thought into it so they can make sure that they're making the best decision for them, right, and their family. Do it all in a week. We got videos, webinars. We don't have weekly meetings right now, but do it all in the week. They got many platforms that you can go over. And people don't be easy to close. They throw out objections to feel better. That's why people are not easy to close because they throw out objections, right? Just so that makes them feel better. But you have to continue to go to the next step. So, because how you respond to people is very, very critical. It's critical how you respond to people, right? You can act offensive or defensive. You will run them away if you do that. Like, if you act offensive or defensive, guess what? You're going to run them away. And remember what I said in the beginning, the goal is what? To educate people, right? So feel, if they say how they feel, they're like, I know how you feel, right? I felt the same way, right? I felt the same way. Guess what? I found out here's what I found, right? They can tell you what they found, but here's what I found. So you just want to be very skillful of how you overcome objections, right? Or you want to make sure that you have a strong rebuttal game, right? You make sure you have great rebuttals, and that's how you go out there and become a professional. That's how you become a professional at the follow-up, right? And remember, it's a fortune in the follow-up. And that's how you make your money. And right now we got a lot of people. I'm looking at the numbers. They got a lot of people out there that's planting those seeds. And guess what? You want to make sure that you're tending to those seeds. You want to make sure that you're taking care of your crop. Because if you're doing those things, then guess what? It's definitely going to get you to the top. But you got to become a professional at it because that's very, very critical. We teach the PS3, but a lot of times we leave out the follow-up so people don't really understand that. And if more people understood what the follow-up was all about, because I know, like I told you, I'm still dealing with people that I've been dealing with for years, and they got people that's still coming at me, that they've been coming at me for years, and they don't stop because guess what? They're professionals, and they just have a certain group of people that they want on your team. So if you want a person on your team bad enough, then you have to be in hot pursuit at all times. Until that person says no, then guess what? The pursuit is not going to be over. That's how you go out there and become a professional at the follow-up. So I'm going to see, do we have our leader? Our 5-star director. She's a director factory. She wears that ruby ring. She wears that Rolex watch. Everybody loves her. Everybody knows her. Top 10 incomer. Coach J.C. Watkins, are you on the line?
Coach Rollins, I am definitely here. I wouldn't be anywhere else. And I want to thank you for revisiting this topic. I know that we've talked about the fortune and the follow-up, but so many people are still a little bit confused about it. And so I want to thank you for understanding that this is a skill that all those who are on their road to gold have to get. And Coach Rollins, what I'm so excited about today is that we are doing so much more with so less. Coach Rollins, we are doing so much more with much less. We started the Road to Gold call with 100 people. You know what? Today, it's not 100 people. We started the Watch Chat Travel with all these people.
With 109. It was like 109, 110.
Yeah. And we started Watch Chat Travel, with all these people that, were talking about it. But now, Coach Rollins, why am I excited? Because now we see exactly who was serious and who was not. I'm loving it that right now, Coach Rollins, this is these people, we put up more numbers than we did with the masses. We put up more numbers with the serious. And I don't know about you, but I love being able to see exactly who we are working with. And that's really one of the things that, Coach Cindy Brueggemann said, we have more people who hit 20 Beast Mode Club than we did the week before with less people. And so, Coach Rollins, everybody, I believe, that's here now, that's doing what's necessary now, these are the people that as they learn these skills, Coach Rollins, this is the group right here that's going to take this thing to the next level. Would you agree?
Oh, I totally agree with that, Coach Watkins, and you're absolutely right. This has been able to help us identify, right? It's been able to help us identify who the true players are, who is serious, right? Most importantly, who's serious about their business, meaning that they're serious about their future, that this is something that they believe that could take them to whatever heights or whatever desires that they that they want to have in their life. And you're absolutely right, Coach Watkins. It's able to let us know who's out here playing and who's out here playing. Coach Watkins?
Playing and who's out here playing. And that's really the bottom line. And here's the thing that I love, because everybody on this call is either trying to go gold builder or they are trying to be gold builder factories. And Coach Rollins, one of the things that I have appreciated, we are breaking gold builders in the midst of everything going on. We just broke another gold builder. I know we had a gold builder out of your camp, Ryan and Simpson, who broke. And last night we broke Miss Nicole Maddox. Shout out to Libra Murphy and her camp. But Coach Rollins, people are getting it. People are getting it. And the other thing is that, Mr. Bradley said, I never wanted to build the biggest team. I wanted to build the strongest. And I never understood, because I'm thinking we want the most. We want all the people, right? But I understand that it's the small amount of people doing it right. The smaller groups that are doing it right, that are doing it professionally. See, what we're weeding out the emotional intelligence. We're weeding out the emotional intelligence. What do I mean by that? Is that, there's some people who are emotionally attached to yes and no. Just as soon as people tell them no, they're falling apart. I can't do this. This doesn't work. We're getting rid of those people. We're working now with the people who understand I go through the numbers. I do epic things with epic people. See, epic people understand this is a numbers game. And epic people understand if you're going to make epic money, you're going to get an epic amount of no's. Who makes a ton of money and everything is peaches and roses? Who makes a ton of money? Right, Coach Rollins? You and I, one time, you were having a rough day. I don't know if you remember. And you said, you know what? These people, sometimes this is not fun anymore. I said, well, let's think about this. How many career options can we think of that you make six figures and it's fun? Let's talk about this, because I know even football and base, you said, I don't think that many people making 6 or 7 figures. So, it's not always fun, but it is an enjoyable thing. It's enjoyable to work for ourselves and get progress, but it's hard. And the people who are emotional about following up, emotional about peaking, emotional about coaching sessions and correction, everything is emotion. Coach Rollins, we are losing them. And isn't that a good thing?
That's the exhausting part, trying to motivate unmotivated people. It's like trying to push the car in park. And you're absolutely right, Coach Watkins. It's not fun. Even football. What's not fun about football is two-a-days. Like, what two-a-days means, if you don't know, that means going to practice twice a day, right? In the morning, and then you got to return again in the evening to do it all over again. It hurts. But guess what? It's all worth it when you get out there and you're under those lights, right? You keep performing in front of people at the show, everybody what exactly you've been working on. That's the same thing over here, Coach Watkins. I mean, you know, you working in the dark, right? But guess what? When you get the rewards of the bronze builder, the silver builder, then the gold builder, and then on the director, guess what? That lets what it becomes worth it, right? It really becomes worth it, but it doesn't feel good when you're working in the dark, when nobody is celebrating you, when nobody is motivating you, and nobody is pushing you. Guess what? But you got to get up, you got to push yourself, you got to look in that mirror and tell yourself that, hey, I am amazing. Today is going to be an amazing day, and you are operating from a level of intelligence, because that's what this thing is all about. Because if more people knew what we do, if more people knew what we knew, they would do what we do, Coach Watkins. And you're absolutely right. It's not always fun, but it's going to be worth it. And you have to pursue your goals on a daily basis like it's going to be worth it. It is going to work out. You have to operate in expecting. You got to operate when you hear our founder say the things like he's preparing for his biggest harvest of his life. I mean, he's not just saying that. And like he said, I've been through a lot of harvests in my life, but this is the biggest one. You have to get excited about those things. You have to get excited about 46 million people are out of work. You got to get excited about people out there looking for you. But guess what? You got to go out there and find them, because it's not going to be easy, but it's going to be worth it. Coach Watkins, back to you.
You're absolutely right, Coach Rollins. You know, it's not fun when you go to work for a job for 5, 10, 20 years and you get a pink slip and you don't know how you're going to feed your family. That's not fun. That's not fun to know that you're showing up to a job every day and there's no such thing as job security. You know, it's not fun for the educators who love educating, but they don't want to go back to work right now because they feel like they're putting their life in harm's way because they don't know whether or not it's safe for them or the children. But they have to show up or they lose their job. That's not fun, right? It's not fun to look back and you can't pay your light, rent, you know, mortgage, car note. That's not fun. It's not fun to know that you're sick and nobody has money at the house. It's not fun to have natural disasters and things happen and there's no fun. It's not fun to know that you pass away and there's no legacy. None of that is fun. So why not get the hard now instead of having the hard later? See, one of my biggest fears, Coach Rollins, is that I am an old lady and I am broke. Because, see, I don't have a pension plan. I don't have a pension plan like some people are blessed on their jobs to have. I have to be a rich old lady because what I understand is I don't want to, you know, wake up and my greatest nightmare is realize I'm in a nursing home that is subpar. Right? So I don't know what drives people to go through the nose. I don't know what drives people to follow up. I don't know what's driving anybody to hit beast mode 20. Or driving someone to go gold builder or driving the next person to go one-star director. But what I love is that when we have conversations like yesterday, and Mr. Bradley, Eileen Ross, and Fern Sapp said, the Planet Pledge is worth going all in for. I love it because that to me is fun. That leaves a smile on my face. All the hard is worth it when I know that I can count on my Planet Pledge. I can count on residual income. I can count on this company paying us not just on time, but early. I can count on everything the company said they were going to do. If I just do what I'm supposed to do, they always hold up their end of the bargain. So that's fun to me, knowing, Coach Rollins, that on Friday, on the 10th of the month, on the 15th, there's a check. That's fun, Coach Rollins. I don't know about anybody else's level of fun, but that's fun. I'll go through all the hard to have that peace of mind, knowing that everything is taken care of for me and my family. Coach Rollins, did I lose you? Okay. If you're talking, Coach P, we have missed you. Are any of the captains on the back line?
Coach Watkins, can you hear me now?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you now. Okay.
Yeah, I was saying you're absolutely right. I said it's been a fun, amazing 4.5 years on that part, you know, to be able to, you know, cash those checks on Fridays and on the 1st and on the 10th and even the 15th of every month, right? And, you know, now, you know, your mission has to become, first of all, you got to get there, but then your mission becomes how many other people can I help get there as well? Because remember, I mean, I tell people all the time, travel is just the cherry on top, but what it's all about is going out there and helping people get what they want out of life, and that has to become your goal. That has to become your mission, because if that's not your mission and you're just chasing the money, then guess what? You're never going to get the money because you didn't chase the people. Coach Watkins, back to you.
It is. You know, what is fun is knowing that all these people, if we don't help them get what they want, you can't get what you want. That's how this works. And so, Coach Rollins, you have to put, you know, each and every one of us has a mission. And here's what I'm happy about today, is that each and every person on the line today is still on their journey. They're on their journey. And the good news is everybody's not going to go with you. Everybody is not going to go with you, and it's okay, because pruning season is a good thing, because pruning season leads to growth. So I want everybody to be motivated today, apply the skill set that all these trainers, we have another couple of days of Road to Gold. Let me see, what is the date, Coach Rollins? Today is the 27th. And so we will continue this call through Friday, a Road to Gold. So we got a couple of more days of this, and just soak it all up. Soak it all up. And understand also, okay, this is the 27th, Coach Rollins. You know, credit cards are being ran. So please be aware, pay attention. Some of you who are new, if you have teams that are just now realizing their 30 days in the business, be aware that credit cards run the 27th, the 28th. They stop running, I believe, the 27th, 28th. They usually take the money the 26th, 27th. They may run the 28th, but be aware, because we want to make sure everyone on this line, your lights are on, you're active. You don't lose your spot in the matrix. You don't lose any residual income or bonuses coming to you. Coach Rollins, thank you for a responsible call today.
Yeah, absolutely, and thank you for all that you do for the organization to help people have a platform in order for them to win, and this definitely is a winning platform. You just have to execute. So shout out to everybody that's still plugged in. Shout out to everybody that's still out there taking those shots. Shout out to the people that's out there following up, because that's where the fortune is. And you know, when we open up the lines, I just want everybody to say it's a fortune and to follow up. Coach Watkins, any other thing coming from your desk before we conclude?
We are going to, tonight, you know, we got Pastor Fern on Millionaire Mind Shift, and she is talking about, again, this is Overcomer Month. And so we got Pastor Fern tonight, which is super exciting. We're going to announce those top 10 teams for the week. We're going to see if they remain the same or did it shift. We're going to announce those top beast mode individuals. We're going to see who's the king or the queen at the top this week. So I think some things may have shifted last week, Coach Rollins. So I'm trying to see what's going on. It's exciting. It's exciting. And also make a note that next week, everybody, that Millionaire Mind Shift will be an hour earlier. So it will be 8 o'clock Central instead of 9 o'clock Central. And we want everybody to make note of that, and we'll make sure the flyers reflect that. But again, Coach Rollins, thanks for all you do. There's fortune in the follow-up.